Hana!
Say his name and he appears.
Say his name and he appears.
Oh, good. He's in a good mood.
Tell Demon the chat demands merch. I mean, yes, Demon, the chat demands merch. Oh,
Can you tell the chat that I did have a thought about the merch?
I don't think they believe you.
No, I did. I had a thought about the merch.
Did you think about not doing the merch? Was that the thought?
No, I thought about doing the merch, and that was it.
Yeah, it was considered.
I considered it last night. I went, oh, I could do that. And then I continued driving and avoided the bunny that I nearly hit in the road. So.
Exactly.
And I got distracted by the bunny in the road. So I had to, not hit the bunny.
Those damn chat, take out the bunnies. The bunnies is what's stopping your merch.
The bunny appreciates it.
Until we've just sicked a whole horde of people to take out the bunnies for merch. Horde being the operative word in use there.
Well, are they even in the right place? Are they going to take out the right bunnies? If you take out the wrong bunnies, then
I know at least two
it's
people
not going to help. Well, there we go.
Merch or we riot.
Ooh,
fight.
Yeah,
fight.
I also kind of want to see how that plays out. Is that
yeah.
The option's obviously riot.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen what goes on after you lose a football match. I want to see what a merch riot looks like.
I imagine seeing that on the news. The riots broke out. What was it? Is it about race? No. Is it about gender? No. Is it about religion? No. What's it about? A game called Destiny not getting merchandise?
Well, maybe you should roll the titles and see how much rioting there is.
Maybe.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
I was talking to
someone,
Renard Callant's kid, and he's talking about why does Demon spend an hour every time talking about what's in Destiny next week, but never even tells us the weapon that's for Trials of Osiris. He tells us what the mode is. He tells us what the mode is about. He tells us everything about the history of Trials of Osiris, but doesn't tell us the weapon. I'm like,
that's super easy because Bungie doesn't know and constantly changes it.
That's what I told him. I was like, it's always up in the air, dude. He can only tell you what he knows, man.
You can be told what we believe the weapon to be. We can be told what they have told us the weapon's going to be. They can say, don't worry, this weapon is going to return and you'll be able to get it. And then, Friday morning, they'll be like, nah, just kidding, never mind.
No, Friday morning, they'll be like, whoops, forgot to turn it on.
Season 14 has decided...
The next 3 weeks instead.
Season 14
welcome to the show. We're talking about this.
Decided to change the weapon instead. Yeah.
Nitedemon, Respawn, Peroty, we're all here talking about this. So, just for some clarity and some context on this. So, This Week in Destiny is based on the rotations that have always been there in Destiny. So the 3-week cycle with the Dreaming City is always going to be the 3-week Dreaming City cycle. And the missions that Petra has are set in stone that she has every single week. The same with the Ascendant Challenges. They're on a 6-week cycle. So they will only happen, some will only happen on a strong curse week, some will only happen on a week, and some will only happen on the medium. So things like that are kind of set in stone. Same with the moon activities, the raid encounters, unless Bungie decide to do an oopsie sometimes when we have a hiccup in the season or something happens. The set rotations for each raid, apart from Crota, because Crota has never seemed to enter the rotations for it's only when it's the featured raid you can do all the challenges. But apart from that, Crota's never kind of got into the rotation, and I think only when it was the featured raid that we had at the time each week there would be the featured challenge to do. But now you have to wait until Crota comes up. So there are weird and wonderful things about the rotations that I've got written down. And the one consistent thing that is always eluding me is Crucible, because unless Bungie tell us ahead of time, and even that, like Peroty said, it's they can mess that up as well.
Change, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Or, no, they can mess up the dates. Like I said, I pointed out a couple of weeks ago, we had Iron Banner, and they said it was going to be on something like the 20th of May, but it wasn't, because that was a Friday. So they obviously got it mixed up with the Trials of Osiris, and it's actually on the 24th or something like that. But with Trials, I don't know what the Trials weapon is because it's not on a set rotation. If I bring up, because I have it all written down, each week when they actually do the Trials. So we had, what did we have?
Yeah, I'm sure somebody must track it. I went to Trials report, and even they don't seem to have a historical tracking of what the weapon was, just what people are using as weapons in Trials. Because wasn't this the week it was supposed to be the Inquisitor? Or did that
I honestly don't know.
Because they said a couple weeks back when the Inquisitor was coming back, and I thought it was after Iron Banner, but I don't remember because it's Trials and I don't pay that close attention.
I mean, I thought it would be it's quite easy. You write it down, and then once it gets back around to that first one again, then that's, the second one is going to be that following week. But that's not actually the case, because for like week 7, we had the Keen Thistle. Then we had yesterday's answer, I think, yesterday's answer, something Wrath. I can't remember. Was that the
Cyrus
Wrath? That's it. Exalted Truth, and then Keen Thistle again. But then that also missed out a couple of the other weapons, like the shotgun that they've now added into the rotation.
The fact that you can't make the Tomorrow's Answer joke because there's actually a weapon called Tomorrow's Answer kind of hurts my feelings.
Yeah, that's also in the rotation. So I have looked at the rotation of the weapons to see if I can get ahead and say, oh, this is going to be the Trials weapon for the week. But I don't actually know unless they tell us in the TWAB the day before. So that's why I kind of omit it from the This Week in Destiny video, or telling people about what's actually happening in Destiny. The Nightfall things are kind of set in stone with how they kind of the weapons rotate out and in, but now we've had that other Nightfall weapon thrown into the mix, so that again could also upset the balance of what's come before it in the rotation. They also mess up with the Nightfalls as well, because they wanted to get the Sunless Cell out for that specific week. They cut off how many weeks we had for like the second act's Nightfalls. So we only had I think it was Lake of Shadows, Sark's Battlegrounds Moon, and Scarlet Keep, and then Lake of Shadows, Sark's Battlegrounds, and then it went Sunless Cell instead of going back to the Scarlet. And we completely missed out the Scarlet. So we've now had Sunless Cell for coming up like the 3rd week now. It's
forever.
like
the sun has gone down. There is only the Sunless Cell. There is nothing else.
And the same with the Crucible modes. Control is one of the only things that I can definitely say is up until this week, because it's now Sparrow Control, because the Bungie went, oh yeah, we have that other mode that is Control, let's throw Sparrow Control in there. So even when I'm telling people it's Control this week,
Sparrow.
But in the rotations, I can only look at what's actually come before, and because they've mixed up the different playlists, because we only had like the Control list and the Party Relentless playlist, and now we've got, I don't know what it is now. We've got the 3v3, and then we've got the 6v6 that can also be 4v4 sometimes, or the 3v3 can also be 4v4. The only actual, I think, ones that are definitely going to be there are Rumble and the competitive. That's all I can say now. I mean, Control is out of my hands until it comes back around to Iron Banner. And even Iron Banner, they said that we were going to have an Iron Banner Rift. And we've had Iron Banner Eruption, we had Iron Banner Tribute, we had Iron Banner Fortress, and then we went back to Iron Banner Eruption again. And it was like, well, where's the Rift that you said that was coming in Heresy? So is it coming the next time that it comes up in about 2 or 3 weeks' time? Because you haven't said anything. You said it was going to come with Heresy, but
it turns out they were committing Heresy when they were talking about it, not that it was coming in the release they called Heresy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turns out, I guess the Inquisitor was up on the May 16th that week. So before Iron Banner, not after.
Yeah.
But and just this morning, I was looking and just seeing if they'd, because they've been pretty quiet on the socials, because they're just, nothing's happening. Nothing's gone on. Everything's been pretty copacetic and just chill. Nothing to worry about or to talk about in any way. But yeah, then I see, C14 has changed the feature weapon to Exalted Truth Adept, the hand cannon, to get your adaptive frame hand cannon this weekend. What was it supposed to be? I don't know, but now it's the hand cannon. Because with the Edge of Fate expansion launches on July 15th, the loot pool for trials will be refreshed with a new gear tiering system with new and reprised loot. This means, also, by the way, this is the final weekend to get your Exalted Truth before it leaves the weapon pool rotation, so I hope you get it this weekend when it wasn't scheduled to be up, or maybe it was scheduled to be up, because who knows what the schedule is. Yeah, by the way, get your hand cannon this weekend, or it's your last chance for a while. Again, good things to tell us ahead of time, keeping with that trend of telling us things beforehand, and not even in the TWAB, just Destiny 2 team, messaging, not the thing you put out every week that tells people what they should know about. Just a little, oh, by the way, here's your last chance to get this. Hope you did.
So they haven't learnt from the request that I put in last week's show to say, please, can we know this ahead of time, like with the Slammer sword? Because I was listening to, I think it was Destiny Digest, and they had one of the guys that does the speed running on there, and he said the Slammer sword is a really good sword for if you get a couple of certain perks on there for doing some of the champions and speed running. He said it's one of the only swords that can get this and this. And I was like, oh, that's, and he was like, it's a shame that it's kind of coming out of the loophole. But then they did also point out, and shout out to those guys, that even if it's coming out of the adept kind of loophole, and the same with the hand cannon for trials, it will still be in the loophole for if you go to the vendor, you can throw some engrams and some glimmer at them and buy the standard version of them, because that's what's happened previously, that when they've come out of the adept version, you can still go and buy a Nightfall weapon, or you can still buy a trials weapon or a gambit weapon, but it's just not the adept version of that if you do the hardest kind of setting. So I thought that was still quite helpful in a way, but a lot of people do like the adept ones.
Yeah. So at least if you miss out, you can get a roll of it, or at least, throw your tokens at it for some rolls of it. So, it may not be the very best it can be, but it'll still be pretty darn good. Let's be honest here. If you've got the god roll that's not adept, it's still going to be pretty good versus the adept one. And it's not going to matter come July, because they're going to, redo the tiering and all the perks on them anyway. So don't worry that hard about it. Yeah. You'll have something new to chase come July. Or you'll get to chase the same one, except with a whole new set of perks to go for.
See, they've also messed with like what they normally do with the rotations for the XP boosts. Also, I've been tracking that, and always the first week of the season, we have nothing. And then it always goes kind of Gambit, Crucible, sometimes Crucible again, Trials. Then it remembers there's Vanguard stuff, so we've shown the Vanguard, and then we have Crucible. So we've had like a constant rotation. Sometimes, like the Trials goes, oh, we're not going to do Reputation, we're going to do bonus weapons or gear kind of thing. So sometimes they kind of throw a curveball. But then they did Trials on week 15. The week 14, they didn't do anything. Last week, I don't believe they did, or did they do something for, I think it was for Iron Banner, they did do Crucible, but it didn't have the flash up on the screen. So I can't 100% remember that. But then this week should have been a Gambit thing. And next week should be in the rotation Vanguard and Nightfalls. But they haven't said anything, which means that I'm kind of thinking that maybe when we're kind of, as we're getting towards the end of the season, they're going to go, oh, well, we'll stop that for a couple of weeks, and then we'll do that big push where everything's up. You can get everything. If you do Vanguard Strikes, you could do Gambit, you can do Crucible, all in those last 3 weeks, which is what they kind of normally do. Here's everything. And we've got 23 weeks in this season leading up to our Edge of Fate, and week 18 is next week, so we've got still 5 weeks to go.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, if anything, if they tell us.
I really do wish that they would go back to telling us something each week. I mean, it would be really handy to know, or even if it was like on a set rotation, that we could say, or they could say, these are the weapons for like the Nightfalls, or these are the weapons for Trials, and this is the order that they're going to be dropping in. So anybody that's kind of keeping a record of this can kind of let their community know, or let the community know that this is going to be out for this week, and how it kind of have it set in stone. Apart from if there's an error or something else, they can say, oh, there's been an error. But it would just be nice to know it ahead of time so that people could make plans, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked 1,000 times about, if there's a nightfall I want to get a crew together and run, or if I want to run trials on the weekend, or maybe the Monday or Tuesday, after work, if you can swing it, it'd be nice to know when that's happening, so you can say, hey, let's make some time to do this. But no, it's just you get to guess, and then you get to decide when to change it, and yeah, it's frustrating not knowing what's coming up to try to figure out when I'm trying to play things.
Yeah. This is your weekly rundown of episode Heresy, week 18, starting on June 3rd. This week sees the final dungeon enter the rotation for the new limited time event, Rite of the Nine, which is free to all players with no dungeon keys required. Found in the Eternity node, each week one dungeon will be the featured dungeon for the week, with the Ghost of the Deep, Prophecy, and Spyro the Watcher. This week's dungeon will be Prophecy. Rite of the Nine is available in 3 versions. Explorer mode for guardians who are new to dungeons, with tooltips explaining mechanics, no darkness zones, 5-second revive timer, and waypointing. Eternity mode for more experienced guardians, and Ultimatum mode for a tougher challenge, tougher enemies, tougher modifiers, and greater rewards. With a selection of 12 returning dungeon weapons with updated perks, a new 9 theme aesthetic, and even adept weapons for those who take on the hardest challenge. Weapons available for tuning are the Arc Precision Frame Auto Rifle Prosecutor, the Strand High Impact Frame Pulse Rifle Relentless, the Strand Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon Judgment, and the Void Aggressive Frame Shotgun A Sudden Death. If dungeons aren't your thing and you finished up episode Heresy story, you have some time to catch up before the Edge of Fate begins on July 15th, giving you some time to finish anything from episode Echoes, episode Revenant, as well as Heresy. Or you could complete your Nightfall Conquest Seal, play some Gambit, or even go for Ascendant in competitive Crucible. Act 2 of episode Heresy brought with it the new activity, the Court of Blades. Set within the Dreadnought's Hole of Souls area, players are transported to different arenas across the system, from Io to Europa and on board a Hive warship. Court of Blades has 2 difficulty options, Normal and Expert, with adept versions of the Act 2 weapons only dropping in the Expert version. Also, the Grandmaster Nightfall node is available, giving Guardians the opportunity to complete their Conquest Seal for this episode. With this node becoming available, this gives Guardians the chance to complete all of the Act's Grandmasters, some of which are now not available. Warden of Nothing on the Dreaming City, Sunless Cell on the Dreadnought, Insight Terminus on Nessus, Psyops Battlegrounds Moon, Lake of Shadows on the EDZ, Scarlet Keep on the Moon, Hypernet Current on Europa, Heist Battlegrounds Mars, and the Psyops Battlegrounds Cosmodrome. Act 1 of episode Heresy brought with it the new 3-player activity, the Nether. Set within the Dreadnought Patrol Zones, Guardians fight in random and varied encounters with different events and objectives every time. The Nether has 3 modes: the Nether Exploration for those solo types who want to just explore the Dreadnought, a match-made mode on baseline advanced difficulty, and a selectable non-match-made expert version. From Act 3 of episode Revenant, we have the new exotic mission, Kel's Fall, where you can earn the new Void Exotic Shotgun, Slayer's Fang, and new Prison of Elders challenge, Kel's Vengeance, which can be found over in the Last City for 2 to 3 players. Act 2 of episode Revenant brought with it the Tomb of Elders, and Contest of Elders over in the Last City, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of Act 2. Also available for a weekly pinnacle is the Salvation Jade Raid, over in the Pale Heart, and new dungeon, Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs, and a whole suite of new weapons and armour. Just make sure to visit Icor over in the tower to pick up the quest Drowning Labyrinth to enter. Over in the Last City we have Onslaught Salvation, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of the opening act of Revenant. This version of Onslaught brings with it new defences, 3 maps that are not in the Vanguard playlist version, and new enemies to fight. You can select from Widow's Court, Eventide Ruins, and Kel's Grave, either normal or expert. Also, the original Onslaught has been updated to include some of the new additions. Located in the Vanguard playlist, the featured Onslaught map this week will be Vostok, with the Siege Hook Ogre kicking off the boss rotation. In the Last City on the Helm, the exotic mission Encore is still available, with 2 difficulty options, normal and expert. Also, from episode Echoes, we have the 3 new battleground activities, Delve, Conduit, and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable. The expert battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Conduit. The Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind One features Scorn enemies and the Plagues, Sigrus and Veracus. The Ascendant challenge will be the Agonon's Abyss over in the Baildrowned Wishes Lost Sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Zoltal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Crota, Despair, Omnigul, Anguish, and Fanatic Insanity. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Tanix and the Apostate Sniper. On Europa this week, Corodisty Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Ruins will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Survival. Days of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Kabul, Taken, and Crota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 3. Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Cunning, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Defense, with the Arc Grenade Launcher, Tarnation, and Vazul Solar Scorn Chieftain as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is Breakneck, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex Incursion will be Zephyr Concourse. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The Final Straight's cooperative focus campaign mission this week will be Descent. The 12 Guardian Match-Made Excision mission is also available next to the race for a weekly pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Salvation's Edge raid challenge this week is the 5th encounter, Zenith, called Coordinated Efforts. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Macrocosm, called Cosmic Equilibrium. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Rogue, called Looping Catalyst. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Templar, called Out of Its Way. The Deep Zone Crypt challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Crypt Security, called Red Rover. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Shirochi, called Witch. Featured Pinnacle Raid 1 will be Kingsfall over in the Legends tab, and featured Pinnacle Raid 2 will be the Garden of Salvation over on the Moon, with all challenges available for all encounters. With the exotic Scout Rifle Touch of Malice being farmable from the final boss in Kingsfall, and the exotic Trace Rifle Divinity being acquired via completing the raid puzzles in Garden. Also, the Garden of Salvation weapons are now craftable, with the red borders being farmable for the week. Plus, you can grab a quest from Hawthorne in the Tower for a guaranteed red border on a full completion. Featured Pinnacle Dungeon 1 will be Duality over on the Derelict Leviathan on the Moon. And featured Pinnacle Dungeon 2 will be Vesper's Host over on Europa. The exotic mission rotator will be Node Override Avalon, with Excalibur Exotic Glaive being the main reward, and the Season of the Defiance weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. We have now had all of episode Heresy's challenges over the first 16 weeks of the episode. So, as a reminder, if you complete 108 out of 112, you can get a large pile of Bright Dust to spend at the Eververse store in-game. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Wednesday Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Thursday Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City, Friday Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, Saturday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, Sunday Gilded Precept on Neptune, and Monday Thrillerdrome on Neptune. The Grandmaster Nightfalls continue this week with our 18th featured Nightfall, which will see us face off against a Buckhole in the reprised SC1 strike, the Sunless Cell, with a Rake Angle Glaive as the featured adept weapon. The 6v6 playlist will be Control, the 6v6 quick play mode should be Mayhem, Survival should be in the small team's quick play, and Zone Control should also be available, with Trials of Osiris at the weekend. This week should also see bonus Vanguard Reputation, and double Nightfall drops available all week long. And as a reminder, the annual Moments of Triumph continue, with a collection of 33 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in this past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to the 26 you'll need to earn the 2024 seal and title. Still available is the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, and don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random rolled exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 18th week of the Final Shape episode Heresy. I'd have liked to have known about the Exalted Truth ahead of time, because I do like that hand cannon. I have got one that's got the Demoralized, and what else was that? It was Demoralized and Destabilizing rounds on there. But I've just got a standard version. I really wanted the Adept version. But now I'm thinking, do I need the Adept version? Because with the new tier system, should I be chasing these weapons that they're kind of just throwing in at the end of the season, going, oh, you could have this one, or you could have this one? I mean, I know, like with the dungeons that we've been doing, that they do have some relevance in the next kind of sandbox that we're kind of getting. But then the weapons that we currently have, or the current weapons that we're kind of currently chasing, we don't know anything about them. So are they worth keeping? It's not like they've said, oh, the Heresy weapons will be transferring over. So we're not going to tell you what kind of tier they're on, but they will be on a tier system. Or these weapons, because where we had the unsunsetting, I mean, I've still got really weird weapons. I've got the pulse rifle, right side of wrong. It's like back when we had Forsaken, and it's been brought out of like the sunsetting, so I can still use it. But then where is that going to sit in the new tier system? Is it not going to be in the new tier system? And how is that going to work? I need to know, Bungie. We need to know some tidbits about how gear's going to work. Because I mean, we've had a lot of YouTubers say, "Don't delete stuff. Don't go through your vault respawn and delete all your armor and
A little late.
stuff." So yeah, just don't do that because you don't know yet.
Yeah, this really feels like don't delete things, keep chasing things because we're just not going to tell you anything, and then it's going to end up being we're gonna tell you, and this is all going to be terrible, and we're going to change it all. But some of it's going to be very good. So if you happen to have hoarded all of this for 6 months, maybe it will become useful. But it just this. I wish we could be confident in whatever they're going to say is going to be the truth, and it's going to continue to be the truth, as opposed to going, oh, get rid of all your weapons or sunsetting. They're not coming back. Oh, just kidding. We're going to unsunset them all now. So I'm glad you deleted all those things that you deleted because you were like, well, I can't ever really use this in a real way anyway. And now you can again. Whoopsie. Like, I just wish we could be confident in one way or the other. Because it feels like you could be confident in we're going to say, oh, get rid of this will be terrible. But don't, because they might not be, because you haven't told us enough to be confident in that. And I don't know if we can trust what you're going to tell us anyway.
I mean, it's not like you're going to lose out if you hang on to stuff until Bungie actually do tell you what's actually happening. You're not going to lose out on like enhancement cores and glimmer and things like that by holding onto it or holding onto it. Hoarding it, yeah.
Holding onto it? Mm-hmm.
Holding onto it, yeah. Holding onto it. You still have the chance of kind of dismantling it and still getting your glimmer and still getting your enhancement prisms and shards and whatever else you've kind of put into it. So there is that. I mean, if you are running out of space, then, delete a few things. I mean, I completely ran out of space this week. I was playing with Respawn and it turned into a nightmare because I had, when I started playing, about 30 spaces free in my vault because I'd gone through and I'd kind of gone, right, I have not played with you. Even if Cool Guy said like a year ago that this weapon is really good, I haven't used you. And like some of the duplicates that I've got for Heresy, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to use you based on that. So I went through and I cleared like 30 spaces. But then I got onto the dungeon farm this week and invited Respawn in, which was in its own kind of thing, quite funny. But we were like, I was
what? Why is that funny?
It was funny to start off with. So yeah, I was doing the farming by myself, and then I invited Respawn in. But my vault just got, because I did the checkbot thing. So I got the ultimatum checkpoint for the first chest. So you just dive through the water, kill some bosses and things, and loot a chest, and then come back out and rinse and repeat. So I was doing that, and it was slowly kind of creeping up. And I was looking at these rolls, going, "Well, I don't know what I need, so I'm just going to throw them in the vault." And then Respawn joined, and it went a lot faster because doing it solo was all right, but it was boring and it was long. So when there was two of us, it went a little bit quicker. It went quicker once we found out how to communicate, because for some reason Respawn doesn't know that I don't use the text chat, even though we talked about it last week. So
it's not that I don't know; it's that I wasn't looking at my Discord to see.
So I wasn't originally in Discord when I invited him. I was in the normal chat. So I was in the normal chat talking away, and he's diving through the water and rushing off. And I'm like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. So I messaged him after like a couple of minutes going, we're going this chat. We're going this chat. And I repeated it over and over and over again. He didn't look at his Discord. And I was like,
no, it doesn't ding me whenever I'm playing the game, because it by default goes into like streamer mode, even though I'm not recording, and I don't know how that got enabled or how to disable it. But anytime I turn on the game, Discord shuts off its notifications. So when you're like, go to Taka in the game chat, I was like, oh, okay. I open up Discord, and there's like 13 messages saying Taka. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, oh. No, but there was one point we were going through the bubble section, and I fell down and I couldn't get back up. And I died, which then he died because he couldn't come back and res me. So we went back through, and then the second time we went through, we're still not communicating at this point because he's not answering my messages. He died, and he's like, And then I thought, oh, maybe he's doing text chat. So I put on the text chat as I'm kind of killing myself, realized that he's like, oh, I killed you. And then he's gone, oh, this is revenge. And I'm like, I've got to. And then it was a whole thing of trying to figure out how do I then text chat back to him from a console. And I'm like pushing all these buttons. And I'm like, I've forgotten how to do it through the console. I'm like,
It's such a pain. It's such a stupid pain.
Yeah. So I was there for like a good minute or so while he's like shooting stuff, trying to figure out how to say, get into the chat. After that, it went a lot more smoother. But it was quite funny. There's like just no communication was quite funny to start off with.
Yeah, I mean, I legit thought that you did that on purpose. You know,
I thought I killed him on purpose
being a hunter,
as revenge.
Yeah, being a hunter, for those of you that don't know, the one part where where mobility matters is
But
underwater.
people do know
because
it was the title of the show last week. It was the title of the show last week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Well,
you told people last week.
People should know. And if they're not,
because we have so many underwater activities for mobility to matter. You know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, there was fishing a couple of seasons back.
Yeah, but we don't fish underwater.
No, but you had to dive in the water and get the fish, and you were a lot quicker than everybody else.
The fastest you've ever seen.
And we did quite a good bit of farming at that one point, didn't we? But
We did
I don't think I got one shiny adept. What did you get from that?
nothing. I didn't get anything.
You got adepts, didn't you?
I got a lot of adepts, but none of them were
Yeah.
worth anything. I have the cold denial, cold heart,
comfort.
cold comfort. Yeah, one of those colds. We got so many colds in the game. I got one of those focused, and I didn't get a single good roll that I wanted. So that's fun.
No, I didn't focus any of them. I was just yeah. I was just like, I'm just going to roll in there, see what I get. And I got one shiny, but I think we must have done about 15, 20 runs together anyway. And yeah, there was quite a lot of loot. And what I couldn't figure out was that I know Bungie implemented you go into there and you kill enemies and suddenly you might get a random drop of a weapon. And when Respawn wasn't there and I was kind of just doing it myself and running through, I was getting a weapon every run from just killing the enemies and then getting a weapon at the end from the chest. So I was getting like 2 adepts from that.
That's the weapons you were talking about. I thought you were just talking about weapons in general. No, I never got any of the featured weapons from anything other than the chest.
Yeah, that's what we were doing it. And then when he joined me, it seemed to stop giving me weapons when we were getting all the kills, just running through that initial bit. Even like 2 or 3 runs through, and I wasn't getting this additional weapon. I was only getting the weapon from the chest at the end. And I was like, this seems really strange. So I ran it a couple of times after you left, and I think I got 1 to drop. So I'm not sure why it did that. Maybe it's a bug in the system, is that, if you start off as a full fire team, it works. But if it knows that you were the person in there and then somebody joined you, it kind of stops you. Maybe it's just kind of a random bug. One of these things that we just don't know about. But yeah, it should be dropping weapons if you're doing whatever mode you're doing for the amount of kills. And if you're on the Ultimatum mode, you're more likely to get the adept versions.
Allegedly.
I am looking forward to Prophecy next week because it is the one dungeon that I've managed to kind of... It wasn't solo taking 2 children through it, but it was almost solo taking the 2 children through it. So
I know thinking solo at a handicap, actually.
It was more like a handicap. Yeah, taking 2 kids through that. But yeah, that's I'm quite excited about that because the weapons look really cool. I mean, the Prosecutor and the Relentless, the auto rifle and the pulse rifle, I'm quite excited about. Not so much the Judgment and the sudden death, but you never know. Just there might be something there. But I was listening to... Who was I listening to? There was somebody saying that they got into the Prophecy dungeon when it went live that time for the short amount of time. And the way that they've changed the cube room will infuriate some people, or a lot of people might enjoy it, kind of thing. They didn't want to spoil it. So I'm quite looking forward to that because... Sometimes that did infuriate me when I didn't have my infinite block build with my Titan. Now I've got that, I can kind of roam that area quite well, hit somebody, get my overshield, and then kind of worry about picking up which motes I need to do light or dark. So unless there's a timer on it, I think I'm going to be all right.
100% there should be a timer on it.
Yeah.
They're like, what if we had a timer to it and some other thing where you have to pass like the motes around to each other?
You
All
have to
players
juggle.
I
all
mean, you
players
say that, but they
must
do
touch
that
the mote.
literally all the time.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. All players must touch the mote before it can be, deposited.
You mean you guys don't like the changes to the thing you've known how to do for a long time? No.
We love change. What are you talking about? It's our favorite. We'll see. I've done the one run of Ghost this past week, and then it was like, I don't really need to do another run of that. I'm kind of good.
You do. There's quests to get the weapons, and
He
if you
doesn't
don't
care about weapons. He's got like two things in his.
But the thing is, what we found out last time is if you didn't do the quests for the previous dungeon, the Spire, that blocks your progression for the next dungeon, which then upset. And we don't want that. And I've realised that literally yesterday when I thought, I haven't finished doing the Ghost of the Deep properly for the quest last week, and then it gives you another quest this week, and I'm like, oh my god, I now need to run it twice to make sure that I've done the quest so that it doesn't mess up my prophecy run.
Yeah, so, no, I had the same thought because I've done it once. I did the one completion of it, but then I haven't done one this week for the new set of quests. I'm like, I should at least do it one more time to get that, get the quest done, and then move on to prophecy and see what happens. I've just been playing a lot of PvP this week, honestly. I jumped on the Warlock and just played a whole bunch of control, and then, or not a whole bunch of control, a whole bunch of competitive to get my games done, to get another absolutely terrible roll of the Rhetorics. Just garbage. And I stocked the one right in the trash. And then I was just having a good time, so I was just playing a little more PvP and just hanging out as a PvP Warlock this week. Had a good time with it. But just still, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at PvP. I'm quite enjoying myself, flirting with like bronze and silver, going, I made it to silver. And then I found the unbroken guy at like silver. And again, I can't remember if 3 or 1 is the lowest, but like I just got out of bronze. And then immediately there's an unbroken guy on the other team, and I'm going, sir, I am down here in like single A ball. Like you should not be here. You are way better than this. Are you coming back to the game after 6 years? And thus, this is why I'm fighting you? Like, why are you here? But other than that, like, the games were very well matched. It was just, like, a time or two, and I'm just going, how did you get here? Because, like, it was all, it was 6 of us, all solos. It wasn't like you and a buddy coming in and it couldn't figure out where to match you. But I was like, how are you here just wiping the floor with the rest of the lobby?
See, I think with that, this week, because, again, I played some PvP as well. Because after the show last week, I managed to go and get a dungeon checkpoint to go and see if I could do like from Crotus to get my Abyss Defiant, and I actually got an Abyss Defiant 2-drop, so I was able to put one of those red things in, and then able to craft my Abyss Defiant to the specs that the video said that it should be: Sword Logic, Zen Moment, Ricochet Rounds, and Fluted Barrel. So I've been using it in Crucible, and I'm like, I mean, admittedly, I haven't kind of settled on a build for it, but I was using the Hunter with like the using the dodge to get empower my solar weapons, or on my Titan with the Path of the Burning Steps. I think that give you extra damage for solar kills and things, or solar final blows. So I'm trying to settle into it. But what I found was, for the last couple of weeks, when Trials has been up, I've been okay in my gold area in competitive. So I've been slowly climbing up to gold 1, I think it is. I went from gold 3 to gold 2.
Flex if you didn't pick up on that, Peroty.
No, it's not a slight. It's not a slight flex.
No. He is legitimately better than me. This is not a question. He is better at this game than I am. Like I fully understand and accept this.
Only slightly. So yeah, I've been slowly climbing up, and I nearly got to gold 1 this week. Where they've all had their trials drought for Iron Banner, they came back swinging, because it was like all week it's been the trials gods in competitive going, we've been a bit rusty because we've had a week of Iron Banner, let's get back into this. And I was knocked right back down to the bottom of gold 3, and I'm like, is this the weapon and the way that I'm kind of playing, trying to get used to this? Because it's not the way that I had been playing with the certain builds that I had on my Hunter and my Titan. So it could be a combination of both, but I did feel it this week that it was quite hard to continue that momentum to try and get into gold 1, because I really do like the competitiveness of it. But then it was like, oh, I'm beaten this week. This just I'm given up. So that's why I went to farming instead.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and competitive really is the only place where you can feel like any kind of progression, any kind of climb, any kind of like, my decision making directly affects what I'm doing, and that's why that's part of why I've been rolling with the Warlock, because I have a build that I like, that I'm comfortable with, a weapon loadout that I've sort of settled on and said this works for me. Now again, there's a couple maps where like super short range maps, I'm going to get mapped by all the hand cannons. Like there's certain places where I know that I either need to switch my weapons up or just accept that this is not going to be where I'm going to excel. But it does feel like you're actually playing competitively against people for the most part. It actually feels like what you're doing is what you're doing, and you have some say on the outcome. Whereas if you walk into control, it's like maybe you're getting mapped by trials gods, maybe you're being playing with a guy who just got the game this week, and everything in between. It just feels like as we've said before, it's all over the place in terms of the matchmaking or what it's trying to matchmake. But yeah, I mean, competitive still feels like the best place to go play if you just want to have, what feels like a good time solo, and actually, try to be better, try to sort of, improve your skill set a little bit, and, try to get some decent weapon rolls that the game just refuses to hand you.
Always. Speaking of rolls, I mean, are there anything with the Prophecy Dungeon coming up next week that you're going to be looking for? Because the auto rifle, the Prosecutor, looks a bit tasty with, like we've got Onslaught on there. So it's very similar to how we had with the Breakneck. It's a 450, but it's arc. So I'm thinking maybe something arc related, maybe Dragonfly Onslaught or Eddy Current, which I did not realize is an actual thing. I was reading something the other week and they mentioned Eddy Current, and I was like, oh, it's not a made up Destiny thing. It is an actual thing. And I'm like, wow.
Did you think it was a perk someone made up?
Yeah, I mean, they make up these words and they make up these sayings,
totally.
and I'm like, I wasn't in the know of it, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's a real thing.
So
or Zen Moment, maybe Zen Moment and Onslaught would be quite nice.
Also not real, totally made up.
Are we just skipping the obvious one?
Go for the obvious one.
I mean, I would say the obvious one would be the Volt Shot roll, but I mean,
yeah,
I'm just a big fan of Volt Shot. So
I think the thing is, where you come at it from a PvE aspect, I'm thinking PvP or.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
My PvE thing is like I will pick up a weapon and I will still use that in PvE. But I always think I'm always thinking of like getting that edge over my opponent. So that's why I always go, PvP. But yeah, it will have PvE utility with the Volt Shot, because reloading after the weapon give you that jolt on the next target. So yeah.
So speaking of PvP, as I think I was on the show last week and I talked about my Iron Banner experience.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. You actually you willingly played some Iron Banner and actually did
not
well
willingly, and it was horrific. Right?
Willingly adjacent.
But no, it was awful, as all things should be, right, in PvP. But I did get a build, and I average, because I'm not really caring. I don't really have a build going. I mean, there's a lot of things that just make me not be good at PvP. But I did find a build where it relies on the exotic class item and the dodge to empower my weapons, and a slice roll on a sidearm, and I was just devastating people. I say devastating from my point of view. When you go from 8-9 kills a game to 20-25 kills a game, it's a pretty big improvement in a very short amount of time for no reason other than dodging with a freaking. I mean, the build was also centered around PvP as well, but yeah, the for the most part was an exotic class item and a sidearm with slice on it, and just people didn't know how to deal with it. Sidearms I guess hit really, really hard, and having slice on there so that they can't hurt you by the time you kill them was very beneficial in a lot of ways.
Which sidearm were you running? Out of curiosity.
I was running the. Do I still have it on me? I do not. Hold on. I'll tell you in just a second. It's an Iron Banner one.
The No, it can't be Peace upon
No-
a head slice.
No. Tin
Sneez's
Trees?
Mastery?
Breach
The
Light.
rock-
Not Iron Banner. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Saint
Lies.
14. My bad.
Lies.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah. You can get some good rolls on that Breach Light. Yeah, I mean, you can get some
Yeah,
good rolls
and I
on
had Slice and
sidearms
Hatchling,
anyway.
so every now and again the little Hatchlings would go off and not do anything because Hatchlings suck in PvP. But
You
they
just
were
have to have
there.
enough of them.
You know? Well, I mean,
You
you're
just
not
have to have
getting
all
you're
the
not going to get a
hatchlings.
whole lot, But
Yeah.
so the rollout, the build I was using, which was actually pretty good, is I was using the exotic class item that had Spirit of the Dragon and Spirit of the Coyote. So I'd get the extra dodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then using my class ability, reloads all my weapons and increases weapon handling speeds for a brief time, right? So it came in super clutch whenever I was like, now there's another guy coming in. I don't have any more bullets. I dodged. Now I have all the bullets and extra handling, right? And then the build, I had the grapple grenade, which actually did a lot of surprising shenanigans in PvP. Like, you know how those guys love to like peek out and shoot you and then duck behind the corner? Nah, bruh. Grapple around the corner and melee to finish him off. Oh, and you had a friend that also took a lot of damage and I finished him off with the
You've
sidearm.
learned the hunter technique of like grappling. That's all I see.
It also
PvP.
gets you in a lot of trouble too. Because you can't do anything while you grapple. And then it's like, oh, this guy's slowly coming at me and he can't shoot back. Bop, bop, bop. Hand cannons are just awful. I hate hand cannons so much.
Mm-hmm.
Knife trick, which set people on fire to finish them off. Also, if I managed to kill them with a knife trick, which actually wasn't too hard to do, I would get my knife back immediately. Dodging slows them, supposedly. And because I have so many elemental debuffs going on with the slice and the dodge and things like that, every time I killed them, Stylish Executioner would proc and make me go invis, which gave me true sight, aka wall hacks, right? So I would know where they're at and be able to either decide to engage or run away, right? And then just a bunch of PvP prismatic shenanigans after that. It was actually not bad. The secondary weapon was Claws of the Wolf for a while. And then I noticed I was getting murked by the weapon that you were just talking about, that solar auto rifle.
Abyss
and I was
Defiant.
like, yeah, Abyss
Mhm.
Defiant. I was like, oh, I got one of those and I can craft it. Cool. Let me go ahead and set that up. And then heal kill on that thing is a monster.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
If you have a Vex Method class respawn, that's also doing work.
I tried the Vex, but for me, the Vex was jumping around a lot. And like, I don't know, man. Maybe I didn't have a build specifically focused on the solar weapon, like, buff.
If you use your solar dodge to get the buff for solar weapons, that really does some damage for the hunters. And if you know how to work it really well, then it definitely works in PvP.
I mean, that's fine and all, but my primary thing was the sidearm, right? Getting in close and
you
just
wanted
taking
to
people out
reload
with
it,
the
so
sidearm.
Yeah,
because at a range, when you're at a range, those hand cannons just destroy you, So I was trying to eliminate the hand cannons as a threat because they are.
Yeah. Getting in close eliminates the hand cannons and the pulse rifles, and that one guy sitting in the back of the map with the scout rifle that's just waiting for you to stick your head out. There's always one.
Scout rifle was actually pretty
in
good.
every
I
lobby.
used it for a little bit too. The Iron Banner one that I was actually trying to go for.
Nature Reclaim? Is that what that's called?
Yes. That one. They were tap 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 just from. I was like, where did I even get shot from? And I see a guy way on the edge of that map where most of it's outside, and you got those long sight lines. Like I was inside, and he shoots me from outside in the next map week. Over.
Yep.
Like, dude.
Yeah, there's a one guy in the back of every map with a scout rifle going, I'm going to sit here the whole game. So if you come anywhere near me, no, you're not.
I'm not mad at him because it was working, but
no. I mean, I'm just saying there's always one. He's going to have that perfect fifth going, or he's going to have his whatever his favorite scout rifle is. I've been killed by a number of them.
Yeah,
get yourself your favorite roll and sit back.
Speaking of that, I don't know if I told y'all, but like again, I don't remember even if I was on the show last week.
You were here.
But getting the heal kill and the heal incandescent was the worst Iron Banner experience of my life. It was horrible. It was horrible.
I think we were
And-
talking about it, weren't we? When we were doing our farming, and I said to you what roles I got, and I said, "Well, I got the hill clip incandescent on my first one, and I was out." And you were like, "Damn it!"
Yeah, it took me literally my last bit of glimmer.
Yeah,
My
because you were
last
saying
engram-
all your engrams and all your glimmer, and that you were moaning about it when
yeah,
farming.
25K per focus is crazy. But yeah, so
So this is where I don't tell them that I also got that early on in the week. Eruption. They all drop from Eruption, I'm telling you.
No,
can't
I
take control.
just got it. Literally, it was I went up to him and I went, "Here's an engram. Can I have whatever's new?" Because he normally gives you the whatever it is, the new thing.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
got it
yeah.
at the first roll. And I was like, "I'm done. I'll throw a couple more at you for the limited amount of glimmer that I've got to see if I can get a better version. But I'm done." But I was saying to Respawn, don't forget, if you are glimmer poor, you can use the tonics that we had from last episode to
Mhm.
generate, if you've actually got the tonics, to generate more glimmer. You can put the glimmer thing on your ghost, and then
no, you didn't say tonic. Tonic was a different thing I could have done. No, you actually specified the Tome of Want, which I didn't know you could get glimmer from that.
and the
Yeah.
tomb as well. So you can get the
Yeah.
tomb as well to generate you glimmer, and the tonics give you glimmer, and the ghost gives you extra glimmer. So you're like, but we were getting a good amount from when we were doing the farming. But I just thought I'd kind of point that out to people.
Yeah.
That if you are glimmer poor or if you're kind of shard poor, just check your tonics and things, because you don't know because I've been ignoring them for the most part of this episode.
Yeah.
And the same with the tomb as well. It's like, oh, okay, if I have that active, those perks are then active on my artifact as well. And I'm also getting whatever I'm kind of farming for, that I can either, if it's a weapon or armor, I can break it down and get glimmer and shards from it. So sorry, Respawn.
No, you're fine. But yeah, no, the really infuriating part was I even came in before reset and played a bunch of Iron Banner before the reset, like the day of, just to be like, okay,
yeah,
come on. I think I had like 12 engrams left and no glimmer. I'm just like, all right, we're gonna play. We're gonna get some glimmer. I'm gonna dunk a bunch of weapons, delete those to get even more glimmer. And it took, I think it was like minutes before reset. And I was like, all right, this is the last one. And then I dunked my last glimmer with my last engram and finally got the heal incandescent. And I was just like, I hate you. I hate you beyond anything that anyone has ever hated before. And then, like, I was kicked due to maintenance for the reset. I was like, I suppose it could have been worse. It could have given it to me on my first drop next Iron Banner. I guess that would have been worse. But this was still pretty awful. And, like, just the sweat lords in Iron Banner is just... And you know it's bad. Whenever me, who's always at the back of every pack, towards my last couple of days playing Iron Banner, I was in the front of the pack, and I'm like, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well.
Why am I?
Front?
I'd say the same thing. I'm like, why am I up here? Why am I leading us into battle? There's no reason this should be the case. Did everybody else call out sick today? Yeah. So did you stick to control, or did you dip a toe into eruption at all? Just out of curiosity.
No, eruption? No. I don't. First of all, I can't even spell eruption, much less play it.
See,
and like I know control. I know it's the enemy, it's the evil, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I only asked partially because eruption is sort of nice in a way where if you are, again, there with all the sweat lords sweating it out, you can just chase them around. Like, if they're all on the other team, it doesn't matter. But like, eruption turns into basically a game of let's all just stand next to each other and team shoot. Like, unless you're unless you're just either
that would have been really awful for me.
Absolutely routing the other team or getting routed. It's basically just like we're all going to basically be together, run into battle, die, live, die, repeat. But just, the guys who are slaying out, they're slaying out or they're blowing up. And the rest of us are just hanging out going, we're here too. We're also just here to maybe steal some kills out of this.
Yeah,
so I basically just played eruption because I sort of knew what to expect in control, and eruption it can be equally bad. Like, it can be real bad too, but I was like, at least eruption is a little different. I don't really have to run around as much and can just sort of play with, play with the other people I'm with. Again, I was just solo queuing it in, but just going around going, I'm going to follow these guys. You seem to be very good at this game. I'm going to follow you. Here, I will be the bait, so I get shot in the face, and then you get the kill. Good job. That's what I'm here for.
And then I forgot that it is a team-based activity. I was like, wait a minute. I keep going off on my own to get A or B or wherever I know the enemy's going next, because you know where they're going to go next, right? I'm like, I don't want them to cap it, so I'm going to go there and try to stop them. But you're not going to unless you have a super, because they're all 5 there.
Just you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, hey guys, it's me and me are here. Well, or you find yourself sitting on the zone and the other team just running past it. Not even, you can tell some people don't even look. Like I had people run by me when I played some control, and just running by me, not even looking over, because like they would spawn and they were sort of running out to B or running out to the middle of the map to engage. I was just standing in the zone capturing it. They didn't even glance in my direction. Like I would have been dead 1,000 times over
because
if they had just
assume
looked.
that if you're there, you're the enemy. Because why would Bungie spawn me next to an enemy? Right? I'm sorry.
Just like
they assume you're a friend is what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like, no one's there to worry about. But they forgot they're playing an Iron Banner game.
I spawned next to you. You must be a friend. No, they're not.
Nope.
And most of the times you spawn, I can't tell you the number of times I spawned and was already hand cannoned before my animation stopped. You know, my respawn animation stopped, and I'm just like, this. You can only laugh because it's so bad. You know,
it says you're immune, but it's wrong.
You don't. You know, you're not immune. You have an overshield. That's what Bungie does. They give you an overshield, which of course can be shot down, and you can be killed. You know, being immune would make sense. You're like, oh, you know, that'll stop the spawn camping, but it doesn't, because you're not immune. You have an overshield, and they can kill overshields relatively quickly, especially with that damn criminal's dagger with kill clip already going. You know, it's two-shot hand cannon should not exist anywhere. Forever.
Criminal's dagger is vicious.
Anyway, I'm still heated. My heart rate is getting up right now. I'm not even playing. It's just such an awful experience.
That's a heart rate monitor going off.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh well, at least I'm here. Huh? I'll get the Void pulse rifle, the aggressive pulse from the Crucible stuff, right?
Yeah, the Jobster's longsword.
Is it the long? No, Nate. Wait, no, that's Nature's Lens. Haha, hold on. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. It is a longsword.
Yeah, Jobster's the ones. Yeah, that's dropping right now.
Yeah, and it took me again almost until reset before I could get a repulsor withering and a. Ooh, I still don't have my repulsor destabilizing. Actually, the one I was going for, I still don't have that. No, I have
gotta go back
repulsor,
in. Obviously,
demoralize. I have repulsor, withering gaze. I still don't have my repulsor destabilizing. So the one thing I was going for, I still don't have, and I dunked over 100 Ingrams at Shaxx, over 100, and he still didn't give it to me. It's like the game hates me. They're like, "Oh no, you don't deserve the good stuff because you don't play PvP." It's like, but I'm trying.
You don't tell the game what you want. If you tell the game what you're going for, see, you can't tell Destiny what you're trying to get. If you tell them, you're never going to see it. If you don't tell them, though, then you've got a chance.
Right? And just I can't stand how you guys do this on purpose every week. Just it's demoralizing. It's sad. It's heartbreaking as a matter. It's heartbreaking.
Because we just don't care that much. Yeah. Like I am a fully bronze ranked, on a good day, 1-0 PvP player. So if I have any kind of game where I get like a triple kill out of dumb luck, or the other team being stupid, or my super hits and I actually get some kills, I call that a win. Yep. I may be at the bottom of the leaderboard, but if I can get that one play every couple games where I can feel good for a half a second, I'm like, no, that's a win. It doesn't matter where I end up on the leaderboard. It doesn't matter if I've actually done well or not, or if I actually, trick people into thinking I'm good at this game because I just get lucky or just have a loadout that's working against what they're running. But I know I'm not going to be consistently a quality player. So I'm like, if I go in and have a decent time of it, I'm going to call it good.
Speaking of a loadout that works, this guy had to be memeing, but it was working. That damn Sweet Business. I came across a Sweet Business only twice. Only twice in all the games I played. I only came across a Sweet Business twice.
Yep, they're out there, but they're
But
rare.
dear God, it was so impressive.
Don't peek. Yeah. There are very specific times where you can make good use of it. It's very specific, and yeah, if you get gunned down by anything, you're done for. But yeah, there's those handful of times where you can get into a spot where people are peeking, and you're like, I've spun up. You're done. And the last 2 times I've seen, I've run into warlocks running it. There's I guess some kind of warlock build because they were running. I can't remember what it was, but it was a similar loadout to each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's, it's not Titans with acting war rigs. It's warlocks running around and going, I can spin this up and get some kills.
One of the two was a Titan with a rig. The other one was a hunter. Like, why do you even have that in your vault, dude? I mean, it worked for him. I ate my words pretty quickly, but daggone.
It's like that's why.
I mean, it's just and then the Titan. He, as soon as he spawned, he was spinning it up because you can't run while shooting. He was walking around the map just the whole time, just a walking threat. Anywhere he goes, I'm just like, oh God, it was awful. And people meme about the Sweet Business, but going against it in PvP was actually kind of hard. And it has such a high TTK once it's up spinning, or at least it felt like it. Like as soon as I heard Sweet Business, I was done. It was game over, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. You hear it and you're done for. Now, if you're able to shoot it out of cover or hop it out of cover and get those land your hand cannon or shots or whatever, the Sweet Business is dead. But yeah, no, if you're able to see the Sweet Business for long enough to land a couple shots in a row, the Sweet Business can also see you and land way more shots.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have a wide spread or anything. It didn't feel like it. Like it felt like as soon as he turned towards me, I was just dead. It's not like some hit me, some miss me, some hit me, some miss me, and then died. Nope. No, it's just like done. What?
Because he hit you with 2.5 clips of what you had.
He had to have been. But yeah, so first-hand experience. I mean, I always thought you would joke, oh, we're going to go to the Sweet Business. And I'm like, that had to be funny. No, it's not funny. It's awful.
No. Yeah, no. Most of the time, you will get gunned down immediately, and the Sweet Business will be a giant anchor dragging you down. But when you can get it to work,
like the Titan threat turret that guy was,
when you can get it to work, it's hilarious. But it like everything else is very high risk, high reward. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it just does not. You're just getting gunned down by hand cannons before you can even get going.
Okay, we're this far into the show. We ain't even started talking about anything yet. We've just been PvP complaining. And
I mean, just someone's got to.
Destiny. Yeah.
If not us, who? If not now, when?
True. A lot of people on a lot of the Destiny podcasts aren't Destiny Inc. anymore. And somebody was like,
no, don't say that. They do have some Destiny in them.
What, the title?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
And playing Destiny Rising. And
if you can get into the beta.
That looks so cool. It's such
the buttons. I've sent the links. I've put so many emails in there.
Apparently, you don't need to because Cheese Forever has a video where you can just do it anyway. I haven't tried, but apparently, you don't need a link. You can just go into the store and grab it. Or maybe they do it by now. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's because you're in jolly old England, and they already said you can't play even before this was a thing, right? You were one of the ones that couldn't participate, right? Your country?
That was for the alpha.
Yeah, it was for the alpha because that was like US only or something. Yeah. And even then, it was limited. Yeah. So I mean, we're here to talk about the Destiny. Someone has to. Someone has to moan about things. Rotations, weapons, Iron Banner.
Yeah. The first half of the show was just you talking about this is why I don't tell you the weapon. But has anything happened? Because somebody tried to get me to play Destiny, but because of my PvP last week, I just was not in a Destiny mood,
We played,
and I think the only time I
played,
I was going to say, I think the only time I played this week is when you and someone else asked me to help them farm. And I was like,
I didn't help you. I saw you on Destiny. I sent you the invite. You came and played. You were there.
I was there.
And then I said to you, what did you have planned today? And you went, well, I had plans to go to work. I was like, You're on Destiny. That's not planning to go to work.
I was cleaning my vault before I went to work.
Well, I messed that up, didn't I? Giving you more weapons to clean out.
I mean, I still have 530 out of 700. So I got space.
You're good.
And that's after we did the farming. I currently have 530 out of 700.
Well, the good news is, whilst we were talking, I was going through my vault at the same time, and I can comfortably delete 21 items. So I'm quite happy with that.
Bruh, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard, but look, after the fact, doing it does feel better because I don't have to worry about vault space. It's like, all right, dunk you, and I'll go back and check later. It is a nice feeling to have, but at the time when I was going through the deleting process, it was painful. It hurt.
Yeah, there's certainly some trauma there, but it's so much nicer to be able to actually play the game without going, well, I'd like to go run some Nightfalls. Let me spend 5 or 10 or 15 minutes clearing out enough space that I'm not going to lose everything that I get from the Nightfalls because it's going to push everything out of my vault.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just did the big clean because I just got so tired of having to go, I'm going to get stuff. I'm probably not going to care about most of it, but I'm so tired of having to think about being so low on space. And since you've told me you're not getting anything until Destiny Star Wars Edition, then I've got so much time between now and then, and you're going to drop a bunch of new weapons on me. It's like, it's just not worth sweating it.
Peroty had good timing too. He dunked the Patreon to us, and right after I got the Patreon, someone's like, "Can somebody please give me this?" And I was like, "Fine, it's Patreon money. It went towards the Patreon people, so it was what it was." So hopefully you'll enjoy the $100 DLC. What do we classify this? Expansion. There we go.
I mean, it's still DLC because you're DLing the sea.
Yeah.
So what Respawn's saying to you is that every major expansion, just contact him just before and say, "Please, can I have?" And he will buy it for you.
No, it was coincidental because Peroty just so happened to have sent Patreon right before he asked. I was like, "Well, I have extra Patreon money I didn't account for. Why not?"
So if you can play your cards right, so really just ask Respawn every week around the new expansion drop just to see if it's hit, or maybe if he's gotten a paycheck or a bonus from work, just ask him all the time just in case, because you never know. There's always a chance.
I mean, there was only one person that asked. If multiple people would ask, that would be time to do a thing like an event. Like, okay, if 3, 4, or 5 of y'all want it, we're going to do a thing to see which one of y'all can get it. It can be a lottery, or it can be a video, or it can be, one of y'all carry me through trials and get me to the lighthouse. Which one of you can get me to the lighthouse gets the expansion, right? And nobody will take that bet. They'll be like, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Don has already offered to take you.
Yeah.
But he's never online when I'm online, dude.
Well, that's not his problem.
He's on FaceTime, man. I've been on when Nitedemon's on. I've been on when I'm on. I've been on when the Australians are on. I've never seen Don online on a time that I can play with him. One time. There was that one time. I lied. There was one time. But yeah, it was one.
Well, I know you've mentioned that we're not actually talking about anything specific, but do you want to talk about something specific, like This Week in Destiny?
Yes.
Or the TWAB, the 29th of May, 2025.
The one that's on the edge. Living on the edge. That's all the words I know to that song. Sorry.
Basically, what we've got from the TWAB this week is that we weren't invited to do anything with the Edge of Fate. They still don't know that we exist, Respawn.
Nope.
You're not putting the feelers out. You need to put the feelers out. You need to touch DMG.
You're right. I haven't been putting that many feelers out. I didn't do a lot of Destiny this week. I did a lot of that Drive Beyond Horizons thing. It's just something where you can shut your brain off, go in one direction, and put cards together.
Is it anything to do with Destiny? It's nothing to do with Destiny.
Sure it is.
Back to Destiny.
Sure it is. I am a Destiny YouTuber that was playing it.
Aztecross, Benny, Datto, Fallout Plays, Kakish HD, Mactix, Merge One,
all of them got it.
Morgana, Mr. Rolf Waffles, Necros, PC
Mr.
Gamer.
What? Hold on, back up. Mr. What?
Necros?
No, Ralph Waffles? What?
Ruffle Waffles.
Ruffle Waffles.
Oh, that one. Okay.
No, Rolf Waffles. PC Gamer, Shaq News, Scarrow9, Walla, and Zavala are all going to be spoiling us this week, or this upcoming week, with footage that is going to be including the first mission for the Edge of Fate, and additional gameplay capturing the Kepler destination. And that's going to be rolling out June 3rd at 9 a.m. Pacific. So they're all just going to push their buttons all at the same time, and you just pick who you want to kind of watch. Just pick your favourite streamer, or your second favourite streamers after us, because you're here to listen to us tell you about other streamers. So yes, they've got hands-on Edge of Fate stuff. They were invited several weeks back that they could go and do some stuff and record some gameplay. And they say it's spoilery-ish, but I don't think Bungie would spoil too much. I think they want to kind of tease us. It's a bit like a teaser trailer for a film. So if you don't like watching trailers for films and you just like going in blind, then maybe steer clear from this. That's what I'm kind of getting. But if you don't mind the teaser trailers, then this isn't going to hurt. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I mean, it's like everything else. If you want to go in, more or less blind, or just don't care, yeah, don't watch the spoiler things. Otherwise, you may see things that will spoil your experience.
Spoilers for what?
Well, it's got the first mission for the Edge of Fate
getting in July. The thing
so
you gave away.
Yeah, it could be spoiled if somebody wants to go in blind. It could spoil them for anything that kind of comes up in that first mission. But you want to kind of be teased into if you're not already pre-ordered, or if you're on the you're kind of on the fence about it.
Edge.
This could
on the edge,
on
maybe
the edge. I was gonna go there, but I didn't say it, and I thought, oh no,
jokes
on the fence.
No, come on.
From a non-dad.
No, but I'm interested because they do mention Armor 3.0 and the portal. So I'm like, okay. So even if you weren't if you wanted to steer clear from that, you still got to kind of watch something on this that will spoil you. Yeah, it's just nice to know that we are actually going to get some questions answered.
Hopefully.
Or
it'll be like, here's things. Show me new weapons. I'm most curious about just like any kind of glimpse into like just the new weapons, the new tiering. Like, show me some of that. Just give me an idea of how that's going to work. Maybe give me and maybe this is NDA'd and they were like, don't mention what's going to happen to all your old weapons. But can I just get like a little glimpse into what's going to happen with all my weapons? Which ones should I bother saving? Should I bother saving any of them? Looking at you, also armor. Like, should I just say, hey, if it's not in the loadout and I've been holding onto it just in case, stop? Or should I say, hey, this thing with double 20 stats in 2 different areas, that's going to maybe convert into this, so I should keep it, versus the one that just has maybe 1 stat spike over here, maybe isn't worth keeping because it's going to convert into something less beneficial for me. I don't know.
That's my worry about like exotics that we're kind of keeping. Because I used to have like 2 or 3 exotics that I'd keep for different stats.
You mean if it was armor?
Yeah. So if it was stats
like
in a certain area, and I want to kind of so maybe if it was high in like resilience and discipline, and then I had another one that had resilience and melee or strength, and I'm like, I could switch between what I'm kind of doing. If it's a PvE or a PvP build. So if I now get rid of one or the other, where are those stats going to land? So I kind of get it now.
Yeah, it would just be nice to know, like, before the new content comes out, how can I sort of prepare my vault? And by I mean all of us, going, you're going to give me new things. It's going to have a whole new system. It would be nice if I could take this time before that drop to, like, prepare my vault for things, prepare to receive these new items and armor, and to have some idea what I should be keeping and what I shouldn't, or at least just saying, let me make room for this, versus going, okay, all the new stuff has come out. Now I have to clean enough room in my vault to hold all of this stuff. And then I can play with it. Like,
well, unfortunately, they're only preparing you for Prophecy next week. They haven't prepared us for anything else. But they do mention like you were asking last week. So each TWAB from now throughout the launch will be looking to address questions, expand context, or tease further changes coming to Destiny 2. That's really cool that we are actually going to get some of the answers. So this is a really light TWAB again this week, but then for the next month, we are hopefully going to get the longest TWAB in the world, and we're all going to be here to read it and more. And there's also going to be a couple of live streams. So we have June 24th at 10 a.m. PDT and July 1st at 10 a.m. PDT. So these are normally around reset. So the Tuesdays that we have the reset, that's when these things are kind of going to drop and show us some more stuff. More stuff. Expand on what kind of the YouTubers are kind of going to be showing us next week. So more stuff next week, and then towards the end of the month, June 24th, and then July 1st, the week before, we get more stuff.
I like stuff. I like seeing more stuff.
Prepare for Prophecy. We've talked about it. You need to get prepared for it because it's coming this upcoming week. But do you play it this upcoming week, or do you wait a week? Because the second week is where they give you all the extra stuff. They go, we know you played it last week for that first week, but we'll give you extra loot and more loot if you play it the second week as well. So as I found out, I can still hang on to the quest from the first week, do the quest from the first week in the second week, and do the second week's quest in the second week. So I don't know.
Do it all at once.
Do I do it all at once? Do I just give myself a week off? I know that's a silly question because that's not actually going to happen, but maybe just a week off from doing Prophecy.
Yeah.
Maybe
you'll spend this week doing something else. Finishing up something else and going, okay, I've gotten that done. Have you secured your giant pile of bright dust? How close are you to that? There's giant pile of bright dust things to pursue.
I do. I need to play some more Gambit. I don't think I think I've done one Gambit match this whole episode. So I know there's Gambit ones, so I stack up and I wait until they release all the Gambit ones, and then I just go, I'm playing Gambit today. This is my area, and I'm going to just play here.
I'm going to do this, going to get all the things.
Yeah.
And then you'll have your giant pile of bright dust, and then you'll be all set for Prophecy. And by that point, you'll have figured out via other people how it's going to infuriate you and what loadouts you should be bringing into it.
It's not going to infuriate me. I've got my infinite sword. That's amazing.
So first thing is they're actually going to remove swords from Prophecy entirely. So you have to run the no sharps modifier will be on, and so you can't run swords or glaives. It'll have to be other things.
I mean, that's the other thing, isn't it? That each week is a different modifier as well. So it depends on when the dungeons do come out, what the modifiers are. Will it entice you to go and play? Because it seems to be like the second week. Yeah, the second week seems to be a little bit harder than the first week. But then with the rotations that we've kind of got coming, do we wait until June 17th when all the dungeons will be available? Or do we wait until the week after for June 24th when the currency will be increased? Or do we wait for the specific week? So Spire's the specific week for the 17th, Ghost is the 24th, and July 1st is Prophecy. Or do we wait until the very end, that last week, that we get the Lootapalooza? Yeah, July 8th to the 15th.
I don't know, but this is what we were sort of touching on at the top of the show, saying it's nice to know what's coming up so you can plan and say, I want to sit here and grind my way through Prophecy this week. If I could just wait 1 to 3 weeks and then grind it then and get, extra loot for it and have my time be more worth it. Or because, hey, I can't, I've been called away to work this week and I'm not going to have the time, but I know that in a week or two time, I will be able to have the time to complete this content. See, Bungie, this is why we need to know what's coming.
Yeah, this helps us kind of know what's coming and make plans to get stuff done.
Yeah. Otherwise, you made plans and then you're like, well, that was silly and pointless because I could have just done this again. Or you spend all week grinding it and go, well, I'm kind of done with this dungeon. I got the roles I was looking for. Now I don't want to go play it again.
Donnie did send me a quite a funny meme of like looking at the triumphs or the challenges to get, I think it's the shader for it, and you have to kind of do X, Y, and Z, and I think it's like get gold in Spire of the Watcher on all the kind of bosses, and then gold in Ghost of the Deep, and then it's like, no, I'm out. It's like, I was already out at Spire of the Watcher. I don't think I will be able to do all of that in gold. I just
No.
unless I drag you two through it and we bang our heads against them.
Especially depending what modifiers are on.
Yeah.
I don't know what modifier you had for Ghost of the Deep, but that haste, I'm still thinking about that stupid haste modifier in Spire from a couple weeks back. Just the constant need to be in motion is just terrible. Don't stand still or you're going to die. Don't look at your phone. Don't see what your kid needs or you're going to die. Like this. No, that's stupid. Why would you put that in there?
Because?
Yep. They're like, but it's harder. We can make it harder. We can make you hate this dungeon even more.
So yeah, we've got all of that coming up. And then we've got Pride Month. And we can celebrate with Bungie with giving them some silver. And you can get 4 unique shaders that do shiny things on your armor or your weapons. It's up to you. Available from June 3rd through to July 1st, Destiny 2 players will have access to the brand new Pride Shader Pack, bursting with bold, joyful shaders inspired by the diversity and vibrance of the LGBTQIA+. That's right, isn't it? I haven't butchered that. I probably have butchered it.
Nope, you're good.
Yeah, good. Okay. So while available in-game, for every purchase of the Pride Shader, 800 silver, $550 will be donated to the Advocates for Trans Equality Education Fund, an organisation that works to advance the rights and well-being of transgendered people through education, public awareness, and community-based advocacy. Shaders' names are Indivisible, Boundless, 10th Muse, and True Self. There you go. We've got the Pride pin again and the Pride emblem. They're also available. So this is the 2.0 Infinite Prism emblem. So I haven't got that one. I've got the other one, I think. And yeah, for each purchase of the Bungie's Pride Collectible Pin 2.0, which comes with the Infinite Prism emblem, $7 will be donated to It Gets Better, a non-profit organisation that strives to uplift, empower and connect the LGBTQ, not the QI. They've missed out the I. No, the LGBTQ plus. So they missed out the I on that one. Is that intentional?
They are.
I don't know what that is. I don't know all the letters. Is it meant to be included? Is it not? Is it a Bungie spelling mistake, or do they not include the other people? Because that's not including. Just checking. Youth around the globe, anyway. So the Infinite Prism emblem will also be available for $10 through the Bungie Foundation, with all net proceeds supporting the IGB. So yeah, we have that, and you can have a free one. There's one that you can show your support for the LGBTQIA+ communities with a new free shader, and is it called the Prismatic Expanse? And you can click on the link to redeem the code. So there's a link to go to your Bungie site, to your Bungie page, and you can enter the code of Delta 6 Tango 3 Juliet Romeo Charlie Kilo X-Ray. And then after that, you can pick up the shader from the special deliveries kiosk in the tower.
And you should, because it's an RGB one that changes colors and, of course, looks amazing on your Stormtrooper uniform.
Ooh. I love a shader now. Or how does it look on Darth Vader?
I wouldn't know.
Well, we need to know. We need to know these things.
Probably equally good, because it's got that lovely metal it can shade and just changes colors as you go. And the whole armor set just changes colors. It just cycles through. It's beautiful. Big fan.
Nice. Right, I've redeemed my code. Let's get back to the player support report. Peroty.
Ooh, things are broken. Things are fixed. Things are fixed and broken. Let's see what they are.
Have things happen, though?
Let's see what's known and broken. Did things happen? I don't know if things happened. Let's see. Well, we have crystals made by the Rhymecoat Raiment exotic chest. Do not reliably grant devour while Feed the Void is equipped. Still.
Again.
Your enhanced recycled energy, they've enhanced it too much and it gives you no energy back.
Is this more copy pasted? Hold on.
Your champ title has lost its gilded status. Still. when speaking to a vendor, you can still hear the ambient dialogue, which can be very confusing. Just don't do the Drowning Labyrinth quest. You can't do 6 and 9 for some people. Step 6 and 9 can't be done. Also, can't do a Tomb of Once steps 3 and 4. Can't do those either. And also on the Drowning Labyrinth quest, other steps may stop progress to the next steps. In addition to 6 and 9, who knows? Because they're not going to tell us any details. If you're trying to do the D-Reliance exotic mission, the Taken Relic can sometimes drop below the surface during the Vrisk encounter. Sometimes. Your Shrieker bosses in Sunder Doctrine, still not doing critical damage. Still base damage no matter what the numbers tell you. You can still look at memento shaders on armor. Still no plans to bring them there. And your Secant Filaments and Spear of the Filaments cannot grant Devour while the Facet of Protection is equipped. Still can't be done. And that one boot that's incorrectly laced is probably still also broken. They just took it out of the list because they don't want you to know anymore. They're hiding it from you. And then we have art movies of the week. We have Vex Hive. No, I don't care for Vex Hive symbols. The Vex and the Hive don't need to get together. We're good.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, did we fix things? No. Are the same things broken? Yeah, pretty much. And that's just how it is. After teasing the Titans for the 200th time, this twit is over. Don't take it too seriously, Pauldron fashionistas. We love all our Guardians equally, even Hunters. See, Respawn, they even love you.
No, they had to specify even Hunters because everybody knows they don't. It's like if you said, I love all people, even Asians, right? That there's inherently some venom in the way you say that, So no, they don't love, and don't get me wrong, that was just an example. I have nothing against Asians. All I'm saying is when they said even Hunters, nah, bro. Nah. The fact that they had to specify that means that they don't like us.
But if you're the kind of player that's always focused on just one character, that's totally fine. But if you have 2 more slots there in case you want to try something different, this way we can understand them better and properly joke about warlocks jumping downwards. Mocking class identity is our love language. Destiny 2 community. So see, we're just here to make fun of everybody.
Yeah. So apart from the tweet that was put out this week about the Trials weapons going forward in the Edge of Fate, has there been anything else? Is there a response report roundup, or are we not rounding up? Are they not rounding up?
No, they're not. They're not really rounding up. They're telling us about the prismatic expand shader that looks incredible, especially on the Hunter. They've been showing it off on. They changed our Trials weapon. The 9 are watching us, so I assume it's similar to a Santa Claus kind of situation. They see you when you're sleeping, they know when you're awake, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's not weird.
That's really been it. It's basically just been them. Like the Destiny of the Game account's been posting about just Destiny of the Game things, but no, there hasn't really been any other. Been pretty quiet on the comms front overall.
Yeah,
like Destiny 2 team, they talked about the Exalted Truth hand cannon change. And even that was basically a retweet from the Destiny of the Game account. And then the last thing they posted was a week ago, talking about Renegade's access that lists epic dungeons, and there aren't actually epic dungeons. The dungeons will be epic. It's not a new classification for difficulty of the dungeons.
Yeah.
And they're going to fix the description on June the 3rd, but that was a week ago when they said that. And that the last thing was, hey, if you didn't complete Spire of the Watcher, you can't get to the next set of chests, which I also haven't seen anything further about. So if you didn't do Spire of the Watcher for Red of the 9, you cannot use the lift to get to the manifold chest up at the next level. So that still may be the case. Maybe a fix is coming before they drop Prophecy.
Look,
maybe not.
I have no doubt that there are Guardians out there that can figure out how to get up there using stasis or strand. You can get up there. I have faith in you that you can get up there.
Yeah, but Bungie's
the lift's not working. You will find a way. Guardians find a way. It's like Jurassic Park.
I think
always find a way.
I think the overlying issue is they shouldn't have to.
No. Yeah. It's a challenge. It's a Bungie challenge of you're not allowed up there, so that means that we have to get up there.
It's not ADA compliant. You need to have lifts for people to get places.
That's right, man. There's a whole not HIPAA.
ADA. Americans with Disabilities Act.
Oh, yeah, Americans with Disabilities Act, yeah.
Wouldn't help Nitedemon, but,
Considering how I'm in that category,
you gone over my head. Look, I only, understand
Yeah.
OSHA like by speaking.
Yeah,
to you
I
two.
was thinking OSHA. That's what I was thinking was OSHA, but that's a completely different thing.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, OSHA's going to dock them for having the lack of accessible lifts. That's the problem. There's not
Do
even a
you have
staircase or
OSHA
anything.
across the pond?
We have an
No,
ocean.
they just
I
have
thought that was
oceans.
The ocean
OSHA.
divides us.
Gotcha.
It's
Gotcha.
they have the same thing. It's just different acronyms.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I love those YouTube videos where it shows all the OSHA violations, but it just works better and it's more efficient than just doing it the OSHA compliant way. And it's like, oh my god, you're psycho, but that's genius.
I think I was watching something the other day, and a character mentioned OSHA on the thing, and I was like, Captain America, I get that reference. I get that reference.
I know what that
Yeah,
is.
I know what they're talking about.
Oh man.
Anywho, I have one video to recommend you this week for the
Is it Series
upcoming
19 of
Prophecy Dungeon.
Taskmaster?
No. This is from Say Wallabra, and he goes over the weapons that are going to be coming up next week in the Prophecy. Now, the auto rifle, he says, is a god roll at 0.5 seconds TTK in the Crucible. So go and watch this. It's worth a watch of having a look at these weapons that are coming up and what you might want to get for PvP. Apart from radio silence from most creators, or I'm doing trials carries, or it's over for Bungie, there's not much that was worth kind of pointing you in the direction of this week that I found anyway. Anybody else?
No, I basically found more or less the same things. Well, lots of good moaning about things, but the moaning isn't really helpful. So, and honestly, it's not been moaning on anything different. It's just, there's a loot problem in the game. There's a vault problem in the game. There's the, here we are, year 97 of this game, and I'm doing trials carries. I'm doing this thing. Hey, you should get this gun that we've talked about 1,000 times, and I've been looking for a couple of build videos just to try some new things out, but nothing really earth shattering or exciting. Everyone's just like, do this, the same thing you've been running 1,000 times. I'm like, but I want something new. I need to put a Warlock PvE build together at some point, because I've sort of dedicated my Warlock to PvP, and most of my in-game loadouts are PvP variations. So I'm like, I should put a PvE build together just to have one.
Legit, all you need for the Warlock, and I'm not even kidding. Do you have the hold on, let me look it up real quick. Not look it up. Do you have the Delicate Tome? Delicate Tomb?
The Delicatessen?
The Delicate Tomb.
Delicate Tomb. It's the arc fusion rifle that shoots horizontal.
Do I currently? Maybe. Can I pull it from collections?
Pull
Yes.
from collections, yeah.
If you can pull it from collections, you just put that on Geomax stabilizers, and you'll get your super every 7 seconds or so, dude. That's all you need for the Warlock, honestly.
But what if both supers are stupid?
The Kamehameha?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I've never enjoyed that super. It's fine. Like, it's powerful. Like, I'm not saying it's not good, but.
Well, I mean, that would be
I always feel again like
PvE build though.
A little drunken trying to use it. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Yeah, I should put a void
thing things with the fusion rifle.
Arc thing together.
It loads itself for you, assuming you have the catalyst, right? So. And then you get a super every 7 seconds. You pop your super, shoot a couple more things, pop your super. It's. I mean,
and it would fix my. I need a fusion rifle to run stupid nightfalls with. I am really ready for our anti-champion weapons to change over. I've been running a bunch of nightfalls this week, just like the match made ones, just to kind of get that rank up, because I've just completely ignored Zavala entirely.
Oh,
just doing the match made nightfalls, because I'm like, again, like I've gotten the good GM drops, I've gotten the good Adept Cruel Mercy, some other things. And
that's the pulse, right?
Yeah, the new pulse that comes free with purchase. Purchase of completed nightfall
too, man. Like, what does that even roll with? Because that was all over Crucible. I was getting killed by so many of those.
Whole number of things. Yeah, but I've sort of gotten those rolls. So now I'm just sort of going, I haven't, I've reset Gambit rank a bunch of times, reset Crucible 1,000 times, and just haven't reset Vanguard once yet. So I was like, I should maybe do some of that. There's something there. So I've been running a bunch of those, just going, I'm really tired of sidearms and fusion rifles, and real done with this. It's a silly place.
Like I said, if you're just looking for any PvE Warlock build, that would be good until you can do the whole Arc Buddy of every type build.
Everyone needs Arc Buddies. All of them.
I think you can have up to 4 with certain Warlock builds, I think. 3 or 4, can't remember. You can have like a lot of Arc Buddies, or a lot of buddies just kind of hanging out at all times. And then
I just want the minivan of death. Yeah, I just want the minivan of death. I want everyone to pile into the car and to go murder things. You know who you can't murder though. You know, we've tried. We've sent the hit squad to their house. We try to threaten them with a good time. Simply can't be done. Renard Kalot and Zep Orbit can't threaten them. Our Otter Dance Troop of the Scarlet KM and Dedicated WM64, phenomenal dancers. Our grenade throwers, Golden God 1562 Noble, Fire Squad 1688, the Man Conan from Texas and Feral, amazing grenade throwers. That's why they dance. And Deacon's Day One Raid team of Gravy Jeff, our lovely patrons who have gone to patreon.com/TTAH and said, we appreciate the insanity that you bring to us every week. So, here's some money for Respawn to give away. So if you'd like to help Respawn give away more money to needy people who need Destiny content, you too, patreon.com/TTAH. And, maybe one day there'll be other things. But for now, undying love and affection. That's what you get back. And you can't put a price on that.
No.
And until next week, thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon, your hunter is no one respawns in real life. We are on YouTube. You should go there. You should hit the button. You should hit the likes. You should leave comments. You should interact as if someone's life depends on it. I'm not going to tell you whose, but someone's. You never know. You should email the show, twotitansandhunter@hotmail.com. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can get your podcast by just walking down the street and just like looking up into a tree. There's probably a podcast just sitting in there waiting for you. You can find ours there too. Everywhere you get them, Two Titans and a Hunter. Slap it in the search box and you've got us. Follow us on YouTube for every new episode, every weekly update video, every live stream, where you too can play the weekly game of what do we think Bungie's going to give us this week? And you'll see what Nitedemon's best bets are. Is he right? Is he wrong? Keep a scorecard. Let us know. Play bingo with it. Have some fun. If you're going, hey, didn't you talk about that cool link, or didn't you mention a video, or wasn't there some website you mentioned? If you don't see the show notes in your podcast player, get a better one. And if you don't want to, twotitans.hunter.com. That's where all the show notes live for all the shows. So even if it's like, hey, there was a build you guys talked about a couple weeks back, they're all there. We link to all the things, and that's where you can find them. And until next week, if y'all want to join us, you know where to join us. Patreon.com/TTAH. If you want the live version of the show, twitch.tv/no-one-responds in real life. And if you want some potential Trial Tuesday nonsense, twitch.tv/twotitansandhunter. Go there, hit the bell, give us a follow, and you'll know when we're doing things, because much like Bungie, we don't tell you ahead of time. It just happens. So you have to be there when. When? Can't tell you. You have to be there.
Yeah.
And until next week, say goodbye, gents.
Goodbye.
Duel. No, deuces. Yes.
Duel? What are you talking about?
It's an old Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime reference.
Well, don't use that here. It's not allowed.
Okay, whatever.
Destiny only.
Uh-huh.
You signed up for this. Destiny only.
It has Destiny. There's Destiny Rivals. That's in the game. There's Destiny.
No.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.